Welcome to 2014. It's an Excel Sprap fantastic application. It's Payroll 2014. It's here. Unshackle yourself from your payroll provider. If you have a small business, there's no reason you can't take control of your information. Do it all in Excel. Own your information. Run your files from year to year and not be chained up to, I'm not going to say their name because I don't want them to sue me, but any of those little companies, those fast Libra companies, kiddo, relax. You can stay away from them. Got my 2-year-old here next to me because he's upset just because he heard the word books. He just heard it and he got upset. You can control your own payroll. You can take care of everything. I'm going to show you how to do it because I've built some files. I create these for small businesses all around the country. Today we're going to do Wyoming. You got to move to Wyoming. Why? Because there's no state tax, there's no corporate tax. You can shoot all the bison you want and eat it. It's Wyoming. It's a good time. So let's get going here. This is your employee info master sheet. I've added a couple famous people from Wyoming. This is all I could find. Jim J. Bullock of sitcom fame in the 1990s. Dana Perino, former White House spokesperson, I believe. Let's add somebody else here. Let's add someone with one W-4 allowance. It's your W-4 sheet if you don't know what that is. Let's go with, sure, this person's going to be married. Everybody here lives in Wyoming. Let's say that I moved to Wyoming and I live in Wyoming. Now, this the company that I built this for has a workers' comp issue with two different types of employees. They have an office and a shop type of employee. You would choose, I would be a shop employee. Sure, probably. I'd be a shop employee. It's a different workers' comp rate is going to apply depending on where the person works in the office. You could have an address here, you know, blah, 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 XXXX, whatever, city, you know, state. Put all that information there. It's going to flow through to the checks. We won't waste time with it now. So we've entered in our information. Another thing we do on this sheet is Wyoming's unemployment. They taxed the first $24,500 in wages this year in 2014, and the rate that this company had was pretty low for the unemployment rate. Pay periods. This is a bi-weekly template. So every 2 weeks, looks like every two. Payroll runs from Sunday to Saturday, Sunday to the following Saturday, 14-day pay period, and then the paycheck gets cut on the Friday after that Saturday ends. So we added the employee information. It's just that simple, right? We're done here. Now we have something called the daily entry sheet, and this is for entering in your employees' hours every single day, and that's all you got to do. I put in a bunch of fake information for Miss Perino and Jim J. Bullock already. Let's do myself. This little drop-down menu, when you click the arrow up, there's Ken. That's me. Let's put in a paycheck for, I don't know, what's today, 121. Let's say that I worked 4 hours and maybe 4 hours overtime. Now, that wouldn't be right. Probably 8 hours and then 4 hours overtime. Sure. You got sick hours. You got vacation hours. You just keep putting in your days. When I have tomorrow's hours, you just type in 122. You choose my name, or you copy and paste my name from above. You have tons of options. It's going to automatically fill in the employee number. All the cells that are black with the white, black fill with the white text, those are all formulas. Don't touch them. They're just telling you, you know, what period, what pay period this ending is based on this date. It's just formulas that are doing that. Let's put another 8 hours here. So very easy to enter in your hours. This would pay a person for sick hours. If they had sick hours, it would pay them for vacation hours. Any additional hours here. Overtime hours are at time and a half. All what this does now is this all flows through to this sheet called the weekly all data sheet. The weekly all data sheet kind of subtotals all the different hours that you had put on the daily sheet and puts them into their proper ending week pay periods. And what we haven't done is, that was Jim J. Bullock, that's Dana Perino. Well, me, you can see I do not have an hourly rate yet. We didn't type in an hourly rate for me. My hourly rate kicks ass. Let's say it's 50 bucks. You can paste that all the way down next to all the records that are next to Ken. So when you keep going down here, you could do it like that. Just to make sure you got them all, you could use these filters up top that I've put up here. You never, ever, ever, ever sort. You don't want to sort because they're in a certain chronological manner, so you don't ever want to sort them. But you can filter and say, well, Ken, what's Ken's pay periods? These are Ken's pay periods for the year. Just these chunk of pay periods. The one pay period that I entered in data for. and there's my $50 an hour rate. You could even add a bonus in here if you had a bonus this period. Say I got a bonus $100, sure. So these are my total hours, 16 regular, 2 overtime. If you look, that'll match here. You can see these are the 16 regular, and that's the 2 overtime I had for that period. And guess what? You're basically done. It's that awesome. You go to your pay stub, and you choose your information, and you're going to get a paycheck. And it's going to do all the taxes and everything for you. Let's choose my name. We don't care about Jim J. Bullock. We choose my name, and the pay period ending, I believe, was 2/1. And voila, there's my rate. There's my fake address. I didn't put my social security number, but it would have shown up if we'd enter it on this page here where it says social security number right here. It would end up showing up there. These are my total hours. This is my year-to-date hours. This is the gross wages. This is the amount of federal tax that's coming out. FICA, your Social Security, your Medicare. Wyoming, no state tax. Big fat zero there. That's nice. And then this is what my paycheck ends up being, $912. And as you keep rolling forward different periods, you can see that the year-to-date numbers are going to be accurate, and there's no current check for this period because I didn't have any hours in that period. For this period, that would be paycheck here. You've also got your reports for filing your federal withholding to the government, your Form 941 report, it's called. We've got state reports. What you do here, these are all pivot tables, these sheets, this UI and the unemployment and workers' comp report and state tax report if it was a state that had tax, which of course Wyoming does not. But and then your 941, they're pivot tables. These things are pivot tables. And pivot tables are kind of just active little applications within the file that allow you to browse through all your data and generate all the reports you need. Because what you have here in this weekly all data sheet where the crux of all the formulas are, the skeleton, the bones of all the different formulas and everything are all in here, you've got a bunch of different formulas that do a bunch of different things. And this is where the meat is and where you end up when you need to make changes in the future. If you need to roll this template forward in 2015, or if you have any changes you need to make, you're going to have to hard code them in different areas of this file where we have all these different formulas. So what I'm showing you is how you browse through all these different formulas and get what you want. Like I've got an area for federal tax. This is a big federal tax formula right here. It comes from the publication 15 or the circular E it's called. Where are we? We're right here. This is a huge formula, but this is the one you end up updating every year when you have to update the new rates when they add the cost of living increases or if they make any changes to the tax code. And this thing, I could go through hours discussing how this thing is created, and I'll be doing more videos on this for people who need it. But you got all this data, and what you want is you want to be able to look through it with the pivot tables. So these pivot tables, you have to click inside them and refresh anytime you do anything. You see that my name just got added there. If we go and we do reverse for a second, you see how my name, or maybe it didn't disappear. Well, I guess it doesn't disappear, but it would have just appeared because I added my name and added all this information at the start of this video, so it would not have been here until I refreshed this table. Now, what you see is gross wages, taxable wages. If you have something like a 401k plan or something that's non-taxable that comes out of the gross wages, your taxable wages will be less than gross wages. I don't think this person had any of those issues. Wages for FICA to calculate Social Security, your federal tax amounts withheld, your FICA, your Medicare. I didn't set up the thing here. If you're making over $200,000 a year, there's an additional 0.9% that you get taxed on that additional money. I didn't code that in here because I don't think the small business, it's not going to probably be impacting them. But we can fix that up. So now you have these things called pivot slicers. Pivot slicers are awesome. You create them by going up to Pivot Table Tools whenever you're clicked inside the pivot table, and you go to Insert Slicer. And you can insert a slicer for any one of those categories that I have listed on this weekly all data sheet. Any one of these title columns. And they mean different things. I created some slicers ahead of time for quarter, which is also up here in the filter box, for week ending, for name. So if you want to say, all right, well, Q1, what's my 941 tax due? All you do is click Q1, and here it is. I don't think the report changed because I think everything's in Q1. Here's Q2, right? Dana Perino is the only person who has activity in Q2 because when I put in all her fake information, I brought her down into Q2 to have some hours. So this is your report that's due, right? At the end of the year, $1,000 is what you'd owe for Q2. Q3, we probably don't have any activity, right? Yeah, nothing. Q4, and the other smart thing about these slicers is they're all connected together. So whenever you click on a quarter, it shows you the pay periods that are within that quarter. So if you're a bigger employer and you file this thing every week or every pay period, in this scenario, you just click this pay period. This is what you owe for that pay period. You know, it's just so user friendly. And you know, what does Ken owe for this pay period? Nothing, because I didn't have any hours. What does Jim J. Bullock owe? He owes $80. And it's just so great to use. You can unfilter them by clicking this little funnel up top here, and then show everything again, or just keep bouncing around. But it just makes generating your reports so easy. You've got the same thing going on here. I'll show you how I create a slicer, because I've got this is the workers' comp report over here, the federal unemployment report here, and the state unemployment report here. If I want to create a slicer, I can have a slicer that's connected to all three of them. So I'm just creating a slicer now, and I'm looking for the word quarter. The text is real small. You're probably not going to be able to see it. But there's quarter, and I now have quarter. Now, right now, if I click quarter, it's just connected to this one. This is the only one that changed. But you can change that, and you can connect it to the other two tables. You can right-click on it and go to Pivot Table Connections or Pivot Connections. These other tables are in this sheet. I just checked them. Now this thing's connected to all those tables. You can change colors of these slicers too up here as well. Mess around with them. So now it just changes. Now it's really to all of them. So Q4 has like no activity. Q3, and you can see they're all changing. Q2 has got a little activity for Dana Perino. Q1 activity here, and it's just too much fun. Really, that's the problem. It's just too much fun. So you've got reports, you've got pay stubs, you got everything. I design these for everybody. If you have a small business under 100 employees, really, under 50, probably better. But you give me a call, shoot me an email. I will build these for you. They're not that expensive. My rate is about $50 an hour, but these things don't take too long unless you have a lot of crazy extensive payroll things going on. Even if you do, so what? Unshackle yourself from corporate payroll providers. Take control of your information and own it. Own it, own it, own it. Because you can keep using these things indefinitely, and you can own all your data. And if you ever need to change anything, you'll have it at your fingertips. So that's Payroll 2014 bi-weekly version for Wyoming. There's going to be some more videos for weekly versions and semi-monthly versions and everything else that comes out. This is Ken. Check out kenstalk.com. Check out spraps.com when I finally finish the website. And if you need a template, email me, ken@kenstalk.com, and I'll get in touch with you. That's right.